They're Tones and I on Magic, and I swear to you, I did not plan that ahead of time when I mentioned that song title coming out of the weather forecast. Just happens that way sometimes. Barrett Insurance Agency joins us with good policies. We mentioned this coming out of our headlines. It happens every Tuesday morning at this time. Joining us remotely, Mike Barrett. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you today?
Still reeling. We're headed into the long winter heating season, right? Well, there's a lot of people in this world ain't got a ton of money right now. I called and ordered the least amount of fuel oil that I could. That was 100 gallons, $350. And it's just going to go up. So, anyways.
Yeah, that's such is the world. Such is the world. So, yes, do your best, sir. Do your best for sure.
Yep. All right. So with us going into the winter heating season, we've got winter driving season. We've got winter safety to think about here. And last week we had a great chat talking about how insurance can protect our furry friends, our pets, right? Let's. We haven't done this in a bit. Let's just do a general overall headed into this wonderful longest season that we experience here in the North Country, the Northeast Kingdom. There is a tradition, or at least a system that a lot of folks have out there, and it happens this weekend when we set our clocks back. A lot of folks know that's a good time to change the batteries in our smoke detectors. Let's start off with that.
You know, that's great, and that's a good thing. First, real quick on Chuckles, my dog, Charlie, he's doing really well. So he's recovering. He's still on the steroids, but his allergy reaction has subsided, thank goodness. So he looks more like my dog now. But anyway, let's go to the conversation of the day here this morning. So, you know, it is common, and the fire departments and all fire safety people will tell you that the best practice is to be sure to change batteries on your smoke detectors when you change your clocks. It's a good thing to associate with that because it's an automatic. You're going to do it. And so not a bad thing to keep in mind. But here's something else I want to throw at you. You know, with technology and all the advancements that are out there are so many more things that are available for these devices. You know, they have 10-year lithium-ion batteries now for some of these devices. So, you know, not just replacing batteries, but another thing that you should be doing is looking on the back of the smoke detector or the carbon monoxide detector and seeing how old it is. These things do have a lifespan, so it's important to not keep them there, just be swapping out batteries when you change your clocks and set it and forget it. These devices can go bad. Case in point, I have hardwired at my house, Jeff, and luckily these new units will chirp at you if there's an issue. So I had two of them within a couple of weeks go bad. So I have four in my house. I decided, you know what, I'm not just replacing these two. I'm going to go with all four. And it had been probably 5 or 6 years since I had last replaced them. So that's a good thing. Check with the manufacturer specs. Check to see how long they should be lasting, and make sure that you don't have a really, really old one on hand. Because remember, this is about fire safety. This is about the people in your house, whether it be your family, your guests, what have you, getting out safely should a fire occur.
You know, I gotta hop in here. I just got to. You know, that was really odd. You just shared that story because last year, about August, we thought the backup batteries, because I rent, so we have hardwired smoke and carbon monoxide detectors too, right? So it was chirping. One of them was chirping, the one that's in the second bedroom. So we put new batteries in it. Dang thing kept chirping. Kept chirping. So we did what you said. We took it out, looked on the back. It was over 5 years old. Replaced it. 2 weeks after that, the one in the master bedroom. So, like you, we did the same thing. We got brand new ones. It's always good advice for that. I mean, we hear so many tragic stories every heating season.
Well, you know, and if these things are white, okay, these smoke detectors are white. If you look at yours and it's yellow, it's probably time, you know, because they will fade over time. So that might be a great indicator as to, oh my gosh, this thing is pretty darn old. You know, and placement's important too. But you know, what I always recommend is go to the store, see what they have some real awesome enhancements. Whether you rely on it solely on a battery, which, like I said, the 10-year lithium-ion batteries are incredible, and they even can communicate with one another, which is even more helpful in the event of fire safety. But you know, some of the newer ones out there can tell you what it's alerting you to, to. There's voice activation where one can say it's smoke or CO2. Remember, CO2 is the silent killer. You want to always be aware of that. That can be just unbelievably surprising to anybody if they just start feeling nauseous or having issues. So to have these units be able to really help you and help you get to fresh air is absolutely vitally important. And a lot of these devices can tie in with these Ring or, you look at all these alarm systems that are out there, like the Simply Safe and the Nest, and there's a bunch of them. A lot of them can monitor these devices as well and also protect you in that way. So good things to think about with if you're kind of in the mindset of battery time. Let's take it a step further and make sure you're looking at all the additional safety options that you could do.
Well, now you mentioned something rather important here too, and recently this has helped a local business owner. You mentioned the Ring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The video doorbells. That came in handy for our business owner, Matt Gaffori, here just within the past week or so. That's something to think about as well. I mean, we live in a rather spread out area for folks that don't live in town, so for safety's sake, having a Ring doorbell or something similar to that can help protect you as well and your belongings.
Right, and here's the funny thing is I don't know if it's funny, but I can confirm to you, Jeff, that Ring works. A friend of mine bought me a Ring security setup, and then I added the Ring camera, the doorbell to it as well. So my house can monitor for temperature, water, carbon monoxide, and fire, and theft. My wife bought some new thing to do her hair with, and it created all kinds of smoke. And next thing you know, I'm getting a call from Ring saying, should we send the fire department to your house because we just picked up a smoke in your house? And I'm like, nope, my wife's just doing her hair with a new device. But then we also had a project in our basement that we had hired contractors for and had a carbon monoxide elevation in my house. And they automatically dispatched the fire department. And I thought it was a mistake, but when the fire department in Waterford came, they found elevated levels of carbon monoxide in my house. So these are incredible things to have, and they're becoming incredibly cheaper over the years. A couple $100, you could have a pretty incredible level of protection in your home. And it could even turn into some savings for your insurance if you really look at it.
Well, and too, we know there are devices out there that will detect temperature fluctuations. Like, for example, one of the recent, over the past couple of years, one of the recent things that we had heard about is somebody had gotten a notification from their smart device that the temperature in their home had dropped to freezing.
Yes.
Come to find out, I think the dog opened the back door and it never closed. So, I mean, these are all things to think about because once the temperature gets down to that for 6, 7, 8 hour period of time, you got to start worrying about water pipes and things.
Right. Water damage is significant and troublesome, and really, you talk about how fire can really wreak havoc on your home. Water damage of any great magnitude can as well. So these are all great things to just kind of have in mind for preventative measures as we look, and also one thing, Jeff, that I haven't hit on real quick, fire extinguishers. Every house should have them. Every house should have them appropriately set up. Every house should have them working. So if it's been a long time since you've checked that, maybe now's a good time to do that too.
I think it is great advice, Mike. I think it's great, too, when we switch off the subject of this kind of policy and that kind of policy, and just remember, everyone, the 101 basics of keeping their families safe.
Absolutely. Doing your part.
That's right. Folks, if you want to contact Mike, he'll give you the info.
Yeah, sure. Give us a call, 748-5224. You can find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
And if you're looking to stop in physically to the office, of course, you guys are still using safety protocol, but you've got your new location in the old St. J. Animal Hospital location.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. What's old is new again. The old St. Johnsbury Animal Hospital is the new Barrett Insurance location.
All right. Well, we're happy to hear that Charlie's doing well. We'll chat with you next week, Mike.
All right. Be well. Stay warm.
Will do. Good policies. Barrett Insurance on Magic in the Morning Tuesdays. Here's